Well, you guys mentioned earlier about budget. I'm just curious, is this like the biggest project you guys have like led? Like a creative project? Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, it's since our background is mostly in making video game movies and working with voice talent. It's just like it's the same thing. You're just working with people, but on a much larger scale. So I was kind of already in my element. The only difference was it was just a lot of people to manage, and I was wearing a lot of hats. Like I was in charge of like all the wardrobe. Like I had to make I had to outfit all the operators after we did the designs for their weapons and their masks. I painted all the masks, all the guns. Had to make custom VPUs. Those VPUs on the front of their masks are PVC filters or couplers and drain strainers. Like they're not real.
Didn't we go through like a bunch of different like ideas of like how you can even get them to be attached to the mask?
Yeah, and I just ended up hot gluing them.
Yeah, we just said fuck it and hot glued them, which really worried me because I was like, man.
But
it's glue.
I was prepped on set though. Like I had like the glue gun. I had like paint because like paint was you can see it in some scenes, but the paint does chip off a little bit on it, and you can see some of the white. So I was carrying around like paint and a brush with me at all times to like fill it in. I missed it a couple times, but whatever. But also had to make like all the cultist masks. Like I sewed all those by hand.
Oh wow!
Like all of those are made by hand.
They look literally nothing like the doodles I did, by the way. They just look like masks.
Yeah,
because we started with one idea, and then we started doing something else, and it became something completely different. Which, whatever.
Yeah,
I think they look fine.
Yeah, it was for the delivery. People were pretty satisfied with them, like audience reaction wise. And most of the other like cool stuff, like the effigy, that was all done by our production designer Corey Hinesley, and she also made the peel and stick graphics that were on the wall that the camera could see.
Yeah,
fucking brilliant. It was all like vinyl stuff. You just peel it off, stick it on. They're about 1 foot by foot wide. Same with the mat that Pender was sitting on. So at least that was off my plate, but I had to manage a lot of stuff, and we were moving at light speed the entire time because we had 5 days and 200 shots to get within those 5 days.
God.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's ridiculous.
It was an extended cocaine binge.
Yeah, I was like, we had a guy show up late. Well, actually, no, he showed up to replace our key grip because our key grip could only be there for 2 days. And our military advisor, he's like setting up the guys in front of the house for that drone shot where we see them approaching it. And this random dude just comes walking down the sidewalk. And this is like, I think day 3, if I'm not mistaken. And I've been drinking those Bang energy drinks. And if anyone has ever had those, like it wires you really quick. So like I stopped the set, like, who the fuck is that or whatever, because like we're on a hot set. There's a bunch of like heavily armed dudes, and there's
fight or flight instincts immediately flare out.
Yeah, and like I'm all wide-eyed. My hair is like a mess and greasy because I had really long hair at that time, and I'm just like, this is my first impression of this guy is that I just look like a coked out dude just shouting at people. So that kind of gives you an idea as to like the level of intensity of how we were kind of running things.
For the audience's like perspective, since they're probably not super familiar with film stuff, can you tell them just like what a normal film day would normally be compared to like what you guys are doing, like the amount of shots and things like that?
Usually, one, you have time and money. That's really what it boils down to. When you have those two things together, it's usually pretty smooth. We had a shot list and everything. Like we had everything organized. It was just we fell behind the first day by a couple hours because of a wardrobe issue, and that's what created problems.
On the camera.
Yeah, and for some reason the recording monitors we were using, their firmware was messed up and was reading our wireless transmitters as additional monitors, so we couldn't get picture in Video Village. So my first AC couldn't pull focus, so we had to rely on. Yeah, we were originally going to shoot this on the Nikon Z6 because it had a 10-bit signal, but its autofocus in video is terrible. So we decided to switch over to the Sony A7 III because it had facial recognition and eye recognition, so it would keep our subjects in focus, and I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Wow.
Because we didn't have a focus puller the entire movie.
even with masks on, it was still able to recognize like eyes and. Wow.
Yep. Yeah, it was insane. If we had people like if we had actual like actors delivering lines and not doing dubs, I'm pretty sure this probably would have been something that would have taken maybe a 2-week time frame.
Okay, so that's a fair point.
And that would have cost definitely like 3 times the amount of money.
Probably wouldn't have been too dissimilar from an episode of TV.
Yeah. Because, and I know like another thing too about this is that since we were moving so quick and we had such limited time, I wasn't able to do all of like the cool lighting stuff that I wanted to do. So most of this movie is all shot in natural light, for the exception of like 4 scenes.
So that was mainly just a time thing. That's why you guys did that.
Yeah, that's really it. Yep, they like our budget was $23,000, and literally 80% of that went to locations, and then catering and VFX. All the crew worked for free. Like they volunteered.
Wow.
And they were
awesome.
like, yeah, that's cool. Because most of them, they all worked on Dollhouse, so they knew they weren't wasting their time, you know. So, and some of that money also went to paying for the materials for, you know, the effigy and all that. Like that effigy shot cost us $1,000.